We love to hate Rajang, and for good reason. When this angry monkey goes Super Saiyan, it can really mess you up. You're watching The Topic Hole, and this is Rajang's Monster Breakdown. So before we get started, there are a lot of things I want to talk about, but for whatever reason, I can't make them all into a video. These are things like which weapon is going to do the most damage for each weapon type, or my damage calculator. So if you're interested in any of those things, I've got a link in the description below. Now back to Rajang. He has 3 modes: normal, angry, and very angry. And since his moveset is similar for all 3, I'm going to group them together and talk about the differences. Rajang is weakest to ice and kind of weak to water, but not really. No matter what weapon you're using, you're going to want to focus on its head or its arms when it's in the first 2 modes, and when it's Super Saiyan, just go ahead and focus on its head or its back legs. Unless you have Mind's Eye, you'll bounce off of the arms. Speaking of Mind's Eye, Tremor Resist and Thunder Resist are 2 other skills that would be helpful. I'll show you how to dodge everything, so you don't really need them, but they can make the fight a little easier. You can find a Rajang that's sleeping on some quest, and if you wake it up, it'll chase you all the way until you get to your target. Doing this will help you get some quick damage. On to its moves. One thing to know about these is the safest place is normally going to be under its legs, except for a few cases, and we'll talk about them. Roar. Rajang has 2 roars. The first will happen when it first sees you, and it'll roar again when it's fully enraged. You can't really dodge the first roar without having at least evasion +1, and for the second roar, as long as you aren't too close, you won't get knocked away. The first roar has a total of 5 frames, and if you remember, our basic dodge only has 4. I don't think it's worth getting more evasion skills, especially since each weapon has a counter. Because of that, I wasn't sure if I should show you how to dodge the roar or not. So let me know if showing this kind of thing is helpful or not. So this is how you do it. Before it roars, it'll stand in place, put its head down, and then right when it starts to go up, you'll want to dodge. This is definitely the hard way of doing it, so an easier way is using a wire bug counter instead. Next, we have the laser. This move is quick and it has a lot of range. When it jumps onto its back legs like this, it's going to fire the beam right in front of them. Once it jumps, make sure you're out of the way so you don't get hit. The only time this move can really be a problem is if it's aiming for somebody else, but the direction it's facing in when it's up on its back legs is where it'll shoot its beam. The body slam has a lot of in lag when it's enraged, so if you can avoid the tremors, you can take advantage of it. Depending on how mad it is, the tremor hitbox is bigger, but if you dodge to the side or through its legs, you'll be safe for all 3. The tremor will always be where its arms hit the ground, so if you're in front of it when it starts this move, jump to the side and don't try to go under its legs. Jumping Thunderball. When it first jumps, it'll only shoot the lightning ball or jump in the direction that it's facing. As long as you move to the left or the right, you'll be able to dodge it. For a lot of moves, if you move out of their line of sight, you'll be good to go. So if you're trying to set up for a counter, just know that at the end of this move, when it's unenraged, it'll fall down to where it was. And if it's enraged, it'll be near you or close to where it landed. Side to side hits. So this move is actually pretty tough to dodge. It'll do 5 punches in a row, and you can avoid it if you're far away, or if you're close, you can dodge under its legs. If you try to dodge through its punches, you'll want to time it by jumping through its arms when it starts swinging to the other side. Use a wire bug if you can to dodge it, since it makes things a lot easier. This move can combo to the next move, the backwards jump. The backwards jump has almost no lag time, and it can combo into the Thunderball. This move is a good example of why you shouldn't commit to any big attacks against Rajang, since its moves are so fast. It'll do a small hop in place and then jump backwards. If you're close, then you can dodge between its legs to avoid it, or you can dodge to the side. Ground Claw Swipe. For this move, it's best just to get out of the way or to stand behind its legs. It's going to attack in front of itself, then spin around. Just like other moves, if you stand near its legs, you'll be in the safe zone. When it's in super enraged mode, it'll even jump at you, so know that it's coming and dodge towards the arm that's down. Pulling a rock out of the ground. This move isn't as crazy as in some of the other games, but for this one, your best bet is just to dodge under its legs, since that's the safe zone. Grab. You can dodge through this if you time it right, but if it grabs you, you'll want to use a wire bug after it pins you to the ground. I keep one wire bug ready just in case this happens. If you don't, you'll probably cart. Spinning ground attack. This move isn't a problem if you're close to it, since you can just dodge into the safe zone under its legs. But if you're ranged, you'll want to pay attention to where it's facing, because it'll spin in a straight line in that direction. Running in a zigzag pattern. It does this when it's moving, and kind of like the Nargacuga, it'll always go left to right to left. If you pay attention to this, you should be able to avoid it. That's it. If you did what I showed you, you should be able to take this thing down no problem. If you have any questions for me or want me to do a monster breakdown on a different monster, let me know in the comments below. I have more monster breakdowns in this playlist, and if you want to check out my blog, there's a link in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.